Greetings, viewers. Thanks for joining me out here with a look at these airbags again today. I did not like and do not like the way this airbag sets in that cradle. You can see it's catching the rubber part. Now, even if I had bolted that to the bracket like they said, it'd still be crooked and stretched further. This side here, I even put a notch in there to try and get it to overlap that to get as close as possible, which, by the way, you can't put that last bolt in because the shock mount steel is on the other side running at a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to weld that, rosette weld that through that hole. That's not what I'm here to talk about today. This bracket, I said I couldn't move any further forward. It's got that little catcher there to catch the U-bolt so that you don't go any further out on your spring, because you can see where it bolts on, it's really tightly compressed there. If you slide that U-bolt further out on the spring and then fully flex out the spring, you'll just snap that U-bolt right off. So that's why that has to stay in that zone, protected by that little guide there. So what I'm going to do, because I don't like this, I'm going to take these brackets off, drill out the hole in the mounting plate to move that cup further forward, and then see if I'm happy with it. So hang on for a minute while I get these off and get over to the drill press, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, now I took this loose, jacked the truck up to get the bag out of the cradle here. The cradle's loose and noisy. This has to stay, the closer the better, actually. So let me grab my spacer I just dropped, or my cradle. So the closer the better, takes the less strain off of that U-bolt under the springs when flexed. I plan to take this off-road, not like crazy off-roading, but off-road and flex it. That's why I'm doing this. Now I'm gonna put it all the way back. I'm going to put my cradle on there, lower my truck down here, hang on, just, can you see that? Is that showing? I think so. Anyway, when it comes down, like this would be like a simulated flex type situation. Let me put that where I think I want it. Try to make sure it's nice and centered all the way around and isn't going to tip off that edge because I can't go too far. Still not quite on it, but that looks really right. I think I'm going to have to move that bracket forward like it was in order to have a place to put this. So let me lower it all the way down. That's nice and centered. I'm going to take my marking device here and just mark this on the outside where it's sitting. That's not in there very well, is it? Or maybe. No, I think marking it where it sits. I'm going to have to set the camera down, but I'm going to mark that real quick where it's sitting. Be right back. Okay, so I put a little mark on the bracket where this was. I'll take this. Don't forget to put those U-bolts back in before you bolt that back on. Let me take this over to the drill press, mark it out, drill a hole, see how this goes. Hang on, I'll put my gloves on while I get all this done. I'll be right back. Okay, now after I put this piece on by my guideline, make sure you use the same thing you used to mark it up against it so you're at the same distance back. It turned out to be not quite a whole drill bit's width back, but I have room to put a whole drill bit widths back on it. So I'm going to move it a whole drill bit width and see where that gets me, and that'll give me a guide for the other one, but I think I can do that and then push the bracket back a little further. Hold on, time will tell. Okay, so you can see where I drilled the hole. Now remember, the other hole is for the other side of the vehicle. I drilled it a little bit bigger for some alignment in case it was necessary. It really wasn't. Don't forget to put your carriage bolts in first. Then I'm going to bolt that cradle back on, reposition this, and show you what my modification got me. Okay, so you can see here, I managed to get it clear back against the U-bolt, which is better. That way it's better. So anyway, I did manage to get it clear back against the U-bolt, so that gives me the least amount of stress on my carriage bolts and my little brace across the bottom. Now this would be simulated a little more flexed than I was able to do yesterday, but you can see now when it comes down and hits the jack stand again, but when it hits that cradle, it's nice. It fits real nice in there, good and straight. Didn't like it at all the other way. Hated leaving the video like that. So thanks for joining me for this correction on how to make those better. I'm going to run my airlines real quick and show you that. Just going to run them to the back. Just make sure they're clear. Actually, I'm not going to, because the running of the airlines isn't really anything. But that's how you correct that cradle. So take it off, drill another hole, modify it a little bit, and make it fit better so it doesn't rub. Time well spent. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you have a great day.